Time management for teens. It is myOrganized.life, April 9th, 2018.
Woo-hoo.
We are starting another week. It's Monday.
It is Monday. How
Yes.
is everybody?
How are you? Put it in the comments. We need to know how
Good.
you're doing on Monday. Come on.
Yes.
And welcome to myOrganized.life Live. I am John Hunt.
And I am Leanne Thompson.
And this is the show where we give you organizing tips, advice, and get your feedback like, how are you doing today? Okay,
That's what we're interested in now. How are you doing?
In the comments, or where are you listening or watching from today?
Right. Yes.
And we'd like to find that out. So go ahead and put that in the comments. Whether you're watching live here on Facebook, which we do every day, Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Central, 3 Eastern, noon Pacific.
Or on a replay.
Days. Or on the replay.
On
here
YouTube.
On Facebook,
Or YouTube.
Or myOrganized.life
Yes.
/blog.
Yeah, that video section's got to be getting pretty full by now.
Big. Yeah, but it only shows like 8 at a time. So if we reference a show from a few weeks ago, you're going to have to scroll through it a little bit.
You have to do some work, some digging.
Yeah.
Okay.
But lots of stuff going on there.
Yeah,
so.
this week we have...
You created a theme for this week, didn't you?
Yes, of course. We usually have themes.
I know.
Last week was kind of all over the board. This week is kind of time management.
Time management, that's great. Time management. And like we said in the title, today's episode was on time management for teens.
Right.
Which actually was a podcast we did way back, I think season 2.
Gosh, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, 93. And
Podcast 93, not 1993.
Yes, not 1993, no. We've got season 15 right now, no. So Leslie Josell, Order Out of Chaos, our good buddy out there in the New York area.
Yep.
And do you, when I think about teens, because I have
like
3 of them.
1,000 of them,
Actually, all 4 of them, well, now one's not a teen anymore, but one just became a teen a couple weeks ago.
That's right.
It's interesting, too, how they kind of just change.
Really?
Between 12 and 13.
Really?
Yeah. Now, the good thing, I'm going to give a shout out to Laura because now she is actually cleaning the kitchen really well.
Oh, she doesn't have a stomachache anymore after dinner?
No, she don't lay on the couch or, I've got to go do something.
Okay.
And the key was, here was her big breakthrough.
Okay.
She, as long as she can wear headphones and listen to something while she's cleaning, she does it. She does a great job, so shout out to
That's a good idea. Good
Laura
idea.
Hunt
Was that her idea?
Yeah, it was. Because all of a sudden, it's like almost overnight. Like, she just started doing a good job. Because before, her job was, And now she's doing a good job. It's because she's listening. So you have a 3-year-old and a
9-month-old.
Yeah.
Yep. So
unfortunately, we're not talking about time management for toddlers.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it would work anyway.
Yeah. Today we're talking about time management for teens.
Right.
Episode 93 of the podcast. Let's take a quick look at what was included in that podcast.
No. And that's the biggest thing, and it's the hardest thing, is that there's usually an expectation. And when I say this, I'm not always the most popular person in the room, but there's an expectation that our teens should just be able to, fill in the blank. But you have to remember, number one, our teens, their time is not really their own. They don't really get to determine how they spend their time for the most part. They've got school, friends, obligations, homework. So they're really pulled in a lot of directions with a lot of other people telling them how to spend their time. And then, we also know that time management is brain-based. And for our teens, that time management section of the brain, for lack of a better way of saying it, is not fully developed. So parents really need to step in and try to help their kids on that journey. And the biggest thing that parents need to first realize is that time management doesn't come naturally to everyone. Even the parent that might not have the best time management skills can still put in place to help their child in that journey.
Okay, well, what are the first few steps that we have to kind of get in place in order to start moving that teen towards do we give them a schedule or what?
No, believe it or not, my first belief is that a parent needs to actually change their mindset about how they approach their teen when it comes to time management. So what I mean that by example is that we need to focus on raising our children, and this is my thing, as what I call as problem solvers and not direction followers. So for example, when you say a parent might not have the best time management skills of their own, that could be true. But we as parents have a tendency to, I don't want to say bark orders, but tell our kids what to do. You walk in the house, you tell your son, go get your soccer cleats, we're leaving in 5 minutes. You tell your daughter, go get your tennis racket, we're going here. What's happening is you're the one who's really promoting your own time management skills, and what you're doing with your student is really making them an expert direction follower.
Yeah, and of course they like it too when you don't talk as loud. Like you say, bark. I mean, I scream at my kids, but that sometimes some are a little bit slower than others.
So we want to change it. We want to make them problem solvers. So instead of telling your child, we're leaving in 10 minutes, go pack your soccer bag, by turning it around and saying, what time do we need to leave for soccer? What do you need to pack in your soccer bag? Believe it or not, what you're doing is you're creating right away some type of time awareness. You're making them have to engage in the fact that there is a time that soccer begins. There's a time that they have to leave the house. And there's even a time that they have to get prepared to go to soccer. Well, coming up this Wednesday on our podcast Wednesday, we release a new episode every week at 2 p.m. Central Time. I'm super excited about this.
Too.
You know who we have on?
Yes, Leslie Josell.
Yes, Order Out of Chaos. Leslie's with us right now. Leslie, we're going to talk about how to get organized for taking an exam or a test. So give us a quick preview of what that's going to look like.
So we're going to talk about how to plan versus cram, and we're going to teach you how to teach your student to study smarter, not harder. I'm going to take you through my 5-step process, everything from figuring out how your student knows what they know, to what study tools to use, and then to actually how to plan for their exam and to know when they're done studying. That's the key, when they know they're done.
Awesome. Now, Leslie, what is the biggest mistake that students make when studying or not studying?
So I can never only give one.
Yeah, of course. Well, then 2 then.
But they're quick. 1 is that they don't plan their time. Okay. That they think studying like the night before is best because they figure like, I can just cram it into my brain. But we actually know, research shows us that a little bit over a course of a few days is actually better for retention. And the second thing is they think reading or rereading notes or a textbook is studying, and could not be further from the truth. And I'm going to tell you what is the best way to study.
Oh, I can't wait.
Cool.
And my 2 daughters, one in high school, one in college, both in the middle of test season right now. So
they'll benefit from this.
They are definitely going to do it. So 2 p.m. Central this Wednesday, live here on Facebook. That's 3 p.m. Eastern and noon Pacific. We'll see you then. That was from podcast 93, the first half of that, which is a great podcast. I mean, on that little clip you saw there, she talked about, the difference between, what was it, a problem
solver and a problem solver and a direction follower.
Yeah.
I think that was a pretty good tip.
Yeah, you don't want them to be direction followers.
No, because then they'll get out in the real world by themselves and they won't know what to do.
Yeah, it's like my kids, just yelling at them all the time.
Yeah.
Let them decide, let them own it.
Let them own it.
Yes.
Own your time, own it.
You have to own it. And then
what else does she talk about later?
She talks about later in the podcast, not in that clip there. She talks about creating future awareness. So, teens live in the now so often, so understanding more about the future, creating a homework profile. I think this is great. And this kind of ties in a little bit to the podcast that we have coming up this Wednesday, which was the second half of that little clip was a promo for this Wednesday's podcast.
Yep. And she also talks about the importance of writing things down.
Yes.
Versus just typing them, because it's the brain-hand connectivity type something. Yeah, so if you have teens, great not only to watch that podcast, you can find the podcast at smead.com/podcast. Scroll down. Scroll all the way down.
93.
Yep, podcast 93.
Yeah, it's back when we had our old set. And,
yes. Old set.
Yeah, anyway, so, and then this Wednesday, 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern and noon Pacific will release her new podcast.
Right.
And
that's about...
It's actually about prepping for tests.
Yes.
So like this is the test season. You get a lot of your high schoolers are taking like the ACT and SAT tests. She's got some great
and even
tips.
College kids for finals.
Yeah, finals, My one daughter in college right now has got I think we were talking just yesterday, I said she's got about 5 weeks left.
Wow.
So they ramp up the tests there at the end.
Yep.
I mean, they have tests every week. But,
right.
So tomorrow, Tuesday, we are going to talk about 5 tips for time management in general. So
yeah,
it doesn't matter whether you're a toddler or a teen or
80 years old.
Yeah, so we'll do that. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Thursday is solution day. So I'm wondering if we'll have any solutions since you kind of came up with this time management week, right?
Yes.
You never know.
We probably will. We'll see.
We'll see what happens. And of course, Leanne's favorite.
And yours too.
Yes, blogger roundup on Friday.
Right.
Hey, last Friday's was really good. We had a ton of people watching.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
good.
That show is getting kind of popular. So we scour the web.
It must be those great articles that I find.
Yes, you're the curator of that. Yeah.
Exactly.
So we scour the web for the best organizing articles. If you know a lot of a blogger or a blog that you like, you see a good article on organizing, put it in the
link
comments.
to it.
Yeah, link to it. We'd like to see it, and we'll bring that up on a future blogger roundup as well.
Yeah.
So, gosh, another action-packed. I feel like the week is just starting, and
well, you're right. It is just starting because it's Monday.
yeah.
There you go.
And I also feel like we got a lot going on this week.
I think so.
Yeah.
We do.
Okay.
We have to really watch our time.
Yes.
So time management.
We need to really be good with time management, which means we need to be done now. But comment, like, share, do all those great social things. Check this out if you can't see it on the live Facebook broadcast at 2 p.m. Central Time. You can always go watch it on Facebook or on myOrganized.life
YouTube
blog.
Oh, YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube, right. YouTube as well.
YouTube, yes.
Sorry. Okay, that's it for another edition of myOrganized.life live.